The Mirthmobile.
I think we'll go with a little
Mixtape Monday.
Exit to each other. Party on, dudes!
next party on.
Party on, Wayne!
Party on, John.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Happy New Year and welcome back to Mixtape Mondays. I promise that will be the last time I say that because I'm not the type of person to say it for the entire month of January. But since it is my first show back, I probably could have done one last week, but I thought, I'm just gonna Christmas, New Year's, whole thing, just take the whole thing off, just kind of disappear for a little bit, drink a little bit too much, and just have a good time. So welcome back, everybody, for the first Mixtape Mondays of 2024. We're going to do a little bit of we'll maybe talk about 2023 year in review, wrap some of the stuff that we did over the break, of which I've been gone. I know Roman just did a show this past Thursday, and then just other fun stories that have come out over the last couple weeks that we need to get caught up on because the world keeps getting dumber and we need to talk about it. But without further ado, before we get any started, first and foremost, my bizarro dad from another universe, Roman of the Empire, joining us on this first Mixtape Mondays back. Roman, how are you? How was your Christmas and New Year's? And it seems like you survived, so that's good.
I did, despite my best efforts. So because I enjoyed the holidays so much, I am doing the dry January.
Waiter.
The funny thing is, I can actually hear my liver making crunchy sounds now. It's a little bit weird. Every time I move here, it's like
it's drying out.
What the hell's going on in there? So I'm doing the dry January. It's as much fun as I anticipated it being. It's fine. It's fine. My son may or may not survive it, but I have. So
well, some of the other stuff you told me over the last month or so, the fact that he survived that, I think you're doing good. So just imagine this will be Roman on February 1st.
Get out of my way.
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints. I can get you one. You've had a whole half already.
Yes.
Like at midnight, February 1st, it's just like.
Well, actually, I have to go in and get a blood test done. My doctor's like, "Hey, your numbers are all effed up. Come back in a month." I'm like, "Fine." I'm like, I could have told you my numbers were going to be effed up, dude. It's the holidays. All of my organs are screaming to stop, but I'm not because it's the holidays. I'm full of beer and cheese. What do you want from me? Yeah, because I went in for like something else, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do some blood." I'm like, "That's a stupid idea," but all right. So now.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure if I were to get some blood drawn, they would just get straight booze out of me. But that's
so there's that. But it was a good. It was a nice holiday. It was a little quieter. My daughter's still the middle daughter of the Empire, still out of the country. So, but we'll have her back, I think, next month. But I had my kids from Los Angeles, my other kids, not my bizarro kids, but my other kids, which are not actually my kids, came down from LA. So that was good. It was nice.
You have a lot of those.
Well, but you're like the only alternate universe kid. Everyone else aside, it's not.
Only because apparently every time you see John the photographer, he seems to always ask you that.
True. Actually, I talked to John the photographer today. In fact, I did. He didn't say, "How's your son?" I saw him at the show. So at least there was that. Yeah, we actually spoke today, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, very cool. Very cool. And Blair, also always good to see you. Always good to have you on. How have you been doing over the holiday break per se?
It was good. It was very low key. We didn't go anywhere, just a family. One thing was after we had the big Christmas dinner, within 24 hours, everybody got a norovirus.
Oh shit!
So flu.
No, like you're on a cruise
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was like, you'd get a text when like half of those one family had it, the other, everybody in this family had it, and I was like laying in bed,
And it's like you're all just waiting.
listening to my daughter throw up all night long, and then my wife would help her then go throw up, and I was like laying there like, I hope it doesn't find me.
That's like, I'll be in the basement.
Mine wasn't as bad. I wasn't on all fours, blowing out stitches, thank God. But it still was not fun for 2 days.
Oof.
But fortunately, it comes and is gone within 24 hours, so we all survived. But otherwise, it was okay.
Man, that's rough. That's never a good way, because it's already when you're saying like, oh, we're not going anywhere, we're gonna just keep it mellow, but then it's like, well, now we really can't even like leave the house because you can't get more than 2 steps away from a bathroom. Like,
We had tickets to Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
oh,
We splurged for the good seats. Yeah, nobody went to that show.
Have you
All
have you
that
seen
money
them
gone.
before?
Yes, they're fucking awesome.
Oh my god, I know. I've seen them twice, and it's
Oh,
just
man.
like next
It's like
level.
a Kiss concert, fire everywhere and
Oh
color
my
and
god.
no, we got robbed.
Oh, it fucking sucks so much. Yeah, I remember the second time that I saw, because out of the 2 times I've seen them, the second time I saw them, it was like we weren't technically like on the floor seats, but we were at like the absolute most front seats you can have in like the stadium seating before being on the floor. So basically, like
Oh,
my
that's
feet
good.
were like,
That's not
there's
bad.
the floor, and we're basically sitting there. And I remember when their last song, it was the Carol of the
Mhm.
Bells one that everybody knows. So like it was like one of the guitarists and the violinist, like they ran through the crowd and they get on this
Yep.
platform and it floats up and they come down. But then as they're running back to the stage and the guy's doing like that last major ripping solo, this kid, like couple seats over from me, like tries to stop the guy. He wanted like a guitar pick or something. So the dude totally stops and gives him the like, hold on a second, like does the solo, gives the kid his guitar pick, and then runs back on stage. And I'm sitting here watching this from like 2 feet away, like, oh my god.
I would have been in those seats too. That's what we had. And Jeremy from the Quartering went. He showed a picture of it. Like, oh, I hope you had fun. But
Dude.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened. That sucked. Actually, no, I think I take it back. I've seen them 3 times, but yeah, that freaking sucks when all of a sudden it's like, hey, we have these expensive, non-refundable. I've had a few friends that like they had some stuff planned throughout the Christmas season. Like I had one friend that she and her husband and their little 2-year-old guy were gonna do the like whatchamacallit, Polar Express thing or something that they do.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they were like, the tickets were really expensive, and like the whole family got COVID right before it, and they were non-refundable. And call it what you want, COVID, flu, whatever. It's like, you have the flu, you're not going out, you're not going anywhere. Like you're just, no one's happy. That sucks. So
Yep.
oh man. Yeah, so I having no family in town, my holidays were largely uneventful. Did FaceTime calls with the family. So my mom's birthday is Christmas Eve, and then obviously Christmas Day is Christmas Day. So did the FaceTime calls with the family and whatnot. Had a gig in between there. New Year's, I discovered this a couple of years ago that at least in California, so I guess it would be off by 2 to 3 hours elsewhere, but in the state of California, it is midnight in Ireland when it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon our time. So I've discovered you can go out to Irish pubs and they will do what's known as Irish New Year.
Cool.
They'll
I
have a
didn't know
band.
that.
They'll have people playing. They'll go around and hand out little free sips of champagne. And then at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when I'm still able to stay awake, they'll do the big countdown and Happy New Year, and the band plays, and then everybody goes home, and then I can fall asleep on the couch before 9 o'clock. So I don't even see the East Coast ball drop.
Yeah, we hide New Year's. We just stay at home. It's not worth going out anywhere.
I don't typically try to be on the road for the big drinking holidays, St. Patty's Day, New Year's, all that stuff. But it's like, if I can go out in the afternoon, do a little something, then head home, fine. Because I don't trust the other people out there. And then the day before New Year's, so December 30th, saw Zach Bryan down here in San Diego. He sold out Petco Park, where the San Diego Padres play baseball, which is a massive ballpark, and sold the place out, put on an amazing performance, great show. But as great as he was, because obviously we were there to see him, we were there to see Zach Bryan. The band right before him, and you're gonna laugh, the band name is pretty funny, but it is a bluegrass band called Trampled by Turtles. Let that sit there for a second.
Sorry,
But, oh
that's
my
fun. That's a fun
lord,
name.
their energy on stage was like unmatched. I used to work for a company that made banjos. I have built banjos in my lifetime. I've seen some bluegrass bands before, but these guys were like, I was with a group of, there was a total of 4 of us all together as a group, and we were all making jokes of whether the fiddle player was Charlie Daniels' son or not, because he was just shredding away on that fiddle. I was surprised that like the hairs weren't flying off the bow and everything and stuff. We're like, good lord, man, these guys are just killing it.
Where are they from? These Trampled by Turtles.
I don't know, but the lead singer and acoustic guitar player looked like he's probably about my age, plus or minus maybe 4 to 5 years. All the other guys looked a little bit older, but I mean, it was the classic fiddle, mandolin, banjo, guitar, upright bass, no drummer, no drum set on stage, but just like their performance, the energy. I was like, holy shit balls. Like they were amazing. And then Zach Bryan came out and I would say blew the roof off the place, but Petco Park is an open stadium. So, but he was amazing. It was really good. So that was kind of my like Christmas weekend, New Year's weekend. But yeah, made the best of it for not having any family in town, because tried to do that last year and all the flights got canceled and it's expensive.
I remember
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
I was literally in the airport terminal on Christmas Eve hearing all flights are canceled. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll call somebody to come give me a ride back home. I gotta call mom and tell her I'm not gonna be there for her birthday again.
And she was Christmas babies that they only got presents for one. It's like, okay, this counts as your Christmas and your birthday, so they get gypped.
So it's always kind of a mixed bag. So when my mom was younger, her parents actually divorced. So being like in the 60s and 70s, that was actually really rare. Like that was a really uncommon thing back then. But she always said that her dad, my grandpa, who unfortunately passed away when I was only 2, so I never really got to know him or anything. She said that her dad always specifically went out of his way and made a point to be like, here is your birthday present, here is your Christmas present. He always kept it separate. But so yeah, other members of the family would try to like sneak in. They're like, here's your birthday / Christmas present. And I am also a December baby. My birthday is at the beginning of the month, so it's like just far enough removed. But as I started getting a little bit older and I had my eye on things that were a little bit more expensive, I would like work the game of, well, if you guys only want to get me one present and make it my birthday and Christmas present, but spend a little bit more money on it, like I would negotiate of like, hey, I want something that costs a little more, and I understand that. So it was like my choice, and my parents weren't trying to pull one over on me. Like, no. My parents always said I should have been a lawyer because I was always really good at negotiating, but I was like, I don't need all that mess. Anyways, yes, good to see you guys. Good to have you on. Let's really quick go through and see who we've got in the chat before we get into all of our super fun stories. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to say about the Green Day story because that's just stupid, and Rage Against the Machine. But you know, what more can you expect from them? So first and foremost, in the comment section, we had Jacob Ironside here as one of our early birds. Good evening to you, sir. Good to see you. We've got Matt. Good evening to you, sir, as well. Thank you for chiming in. And as always, Lady Marine here to harass me and give me shit and say hello to her cousin.
Hey.
We have, and of course, always one of our favorite individuals to the north, Mr. Devin Salmon Outdoors, here to stir the pot. As always, I would not expect anything less of you. Always good to see you. Thanks for being here. And I think that is it so far. And Cajun Corey as well. Hello to you.
Hey, Cajun.
And all right, okay, I think that's it. So, what do we want to start with? Oh, I know, because this one just came up literally before the live stream started. So we're gonna just don't really need to spend a lot of time on it. But that was very cool because, as you all know, I'm a big proponent of following Oliver Anthony and his journey in this evil machine that is the music industry. So he just posted this. Well, I've had the tab up for a while, so it says 48 minutes, but it's been maybe 2 hours now. Oliver Anthony Music. Today, I started recording my first album in an old church in Georgia. I don't cry often, but I have this week. This is such an incredible opportunity. I've been so blessed to be given the chance to share my music with the world. I pray that these songs will help people get through the hard days to come. I love y'all. I won't let you down.
Nice.
So
Cool.
that is pretty rad that he's finally like he's putting down. You can see there's like some soundproof baffling there behind him. So yes, it says an old church, but it's obviously kind of set up to be like a studio. But super rad to see that he's finally like really sitting down to say, okay, we're gonna professionally record some songs, but it still looks like he's doing it his way. He's putting them out the way he wants to. He still has not signed with any sort of record label or anything like that. So that is good to hear. So I'm very curious, as I always say, I'm always very curious to see how this is going to play out for him, trying to do this on his own, do it without a record label, do it without selling his soul to the devil, you know. So very cool. So
yeah, and with him, it's interesting because he had his 15 minutes. So
yeah,
now
it totally could have just gone.
What next?
But
yeah. Hopefully he maintains with putting out the product and all the stuff, because you got to stay on top of things. You can't let that. As soon as the fire burns out, and now you're fighting back to get, the notoriety again.
Yeah. So actually, if I can find, where did I put that article? So one other one, just sort of in that same vein, and I know you guys can give me all the shit you want for even so much as pulling this up or mentioning these names on a live stream. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but in kind of the same vein, I think that this is kind of an interesting and important thing to highlight in the music industry, that both Taylor Swift and Paramore are people that are not on my radar by any means, but this article I thought was interesting in that I was not even really aware of this until fairly recently, but Taylor Swift went back and like re-recorded some of her earlier albums to reclaim the ownership of her music that a record label owned.
Yeah, do you know why that happened with it was 1989 that she did that.
Kind of sort of, but my bigger question that I haven't looked into is if someone else owns your music. So like say for example for me, if I wanted to go out and record a cover song of someone else's song, someone else owns that song, whether the record label, whether the songwriter, whatever. I cover the song, record it, and put it out. I have to pay some sort of royalty or something to the person who owns the rights to it. So I'm curious why this whole thing of like she re-recorded a bunch of her earlier albums to regain the rights.
Did she do more than 1989? I knew she did 1989 specifically.
She did like 6 albums, I think.
Not Bryan Adams, but Ryan Adams had
re-recorded I think 6 of her albums.
Oh, I didn't know she did.
Oh yeah, it says right here in the headline: Taylor Swift re-recorded her first 6 studio albums after Bully Scooter Braun. But like if someone else,
I can't see that, but okay, that's weird.
I'm just curious, like if someone else owns those rights, weird. Like how do you regain the rights by re-recording them? But anyways, it's
she has
story.
Publishing rights though, right? Because she wrote it,
so right? So it's like you have
sold that, so she can record her own music.
Yeah.
I think she can
on the master recordings. Okay.
Yeah. She can redo it.
Matt knows all the things.
Yeah, so it's something of like you maintain like the writing credits, but like a label owns like that, like the master recordings, the whatever. So Paramore, whether you're aware of them or not, whatever, their band, they just completed a 20-year contract with their record label, which again just gives you a little bit of insight into how disgusting the music industry is. That it's not like a 5-year contract or a 5-album deal or something. Like no, they had these people locked in for 20 years, and so the internet has all been astir lately about how like they took their website down, they scrubbed all their social media, everything disappeared. They canceled their tour where they were supposed to actually tour in support of Taylor Swift. But initially, what has actually happened is they completed their contract. They're essentially free agents, and now they can do whatever they want. And now this article popped up today where they're saying Taylor Swift is inspiring them to maybe possibly do the same thing of like, if you don't like the deal you got with your record label, you can re-record your songs and kind of get them back. Again, like I said, Taylor Swift and Paramore are two bands that are probably never going to be mentioned on this channel ever again. But I did think this was interesting, and it's kind of an important thing in the music industry right now. In that, so a band like Paramore, say they just finished their 20-year contract. In this day and age of the internet, of streaming, of YouTube, of everything, it's like it is so much easier to get your music and get your product out into the world without a label. The reason why bands needed labels back in the day was you needed someone to front the money to go record the album. Then once it was recorded and pressed, and in the case, you needed a label to distribute it, to get on the shelves of Tower Records, of Warehouse Music, of Walmart, of Target, of what, to get it out there. You can so easily get your music in the hands of the general public now just through Spotify, through Apple Music, through YouTube, through all of that. And it's like, I think this is actually a really important pivotal moment in music, that more and more bands are saying, hey, our contract is up, we can do whatever we want. But now, because they have a following and they're already popular within their respective circles, they could self-release music, and they already have a dedicated following of people that are gonna stream it. They might buy it, especially Roman. If they put it out on vinyl, I bet even if Paramore made a really cool looking vinyl, you would probably buy it.
No, I don't know what a Paramore
I know your birthday's coming up in a couple months.
Please don't.
They probably make a lot more money for themselves too doing that. If they have a following and they start self-doing stuff, they get the money. They're not going to be employees of record companies.
I think if you're already an established band, like for someone like Oliver Anthony, like he was kind of a lightning in the bottle type of situation where like he put it out there and he immediately like gained a following, people went nuts over it. But this, it's like they have an established following, they can release their own music their own way, the way they want to do it, and people will continue to follow them, continue to go to their concerts. And then also Taylor Swift has famously been involved in the great Ticketmaster debacle of why the hell are we still allowing scalpers to resell tickets at astronomical prices on Ticketmaster? Like, I mean, I understand, I get it. If you buy a concert ticket, Blair, things happen, things come up. And sometimes you want to at least have the option to maybe list it and resell it just at the face value of what you bought it at or whatever. Let's say like I buy an $80 concert ticket, something comes up and, hey, I can't make it. Can I just resell this ticket for $80 and just basically get refunded, basically recoup my cost? But what's happening, and what's happened for many, many years now, is Ticketmaster allows you to relist a ticket for sale and name your price. I could buy a concert ticket for $80. Concert sells out, demand is high, and all of a sudden I say, I want to sell this ticket for $2,000. And if somebody buys it, I can make a profit off of that ticket. And I don't understand why Ticketmaster allows this to happen. They say, oh, we're trying to combat scalping, we're trying to stop this from happening. I'm like, I don't think you are, because if you were, you would only allow people to relist a ticket at the face value they bought it for. Otherwise, you are letting people gouge people, and Ticketmaster is also profiting off of it. So Taylor Swift is another one of those artists that has been trying to fight that. Taylor Swift, Blink-182, Tyler Childers, Zach Bryan, but then Mr. Blue Collar Working Man himself, Bruce Springsteen, justified that bullshit. And he was like, oh, well, dynamic pricing and stuff. And if a scalper's going to make $2,000 off a ticket, why don't we just sell a ticket for $2,000 if people are buying them? And I'm just like, oh yeah, so you're just going to have an arena full of proctologists and dentists.
Yeah, they're going to be regular people.
You remember Pearl Jam back in the day tried to fight Ticketmaster.
Yeah,
Pearl Jam tried to warn us about this, and nobody listened.
Back in the early 90s, they were doing it. And Smashing Pumpkins, too, had a thing.
Yeah, a lot of artists have tried to. You are wrong. I, honest to God, probably could not name more than one Taylor Swift song if I had a gun to my head. And the one that I know is only because I was like, when the music video came out, I was like, oh, she's playing a banjo that I made in the video. All right, cool. So yeah. That's about it. People actually request at my gigs sometimes, like, you know any Taylor Swift songs? I'm like, I don't even know what song I would try to learn because I don't know which of her songs are popular. I don't know. She's not on my radar. It's not master recording group. Make and preserve.
Did she do that fireworks song?
I don't know. Somebody in the chat help us out.
I don't know. I get confused. I don't listen to modern female.
Was ticked off because Ticketmaster would give them a bigger cut. Okay, but here's another thing too, though, that I did not know until like the last year or so, is that the reason why concert merchandise costs more is because the venues take a cut of the concert merch. So if you go to a concert and a t-shirt costs $50 at the show, but you go on their website, the same t-shirt is $20 on the website. It's because the venue is taking a cut of the band's merch sales. It's like, you guys aren't making enough off of the door price, off of the bar, which you're charging like $20 per drink. You're making money off the bar. Like,
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I know.
Let's see. What else do we have that's fun? Let's get into the Rage Against the Machine thing.
Fucking
Rage for the Machine.
Rage for the machine. And that is literally what Elon Musk said. You're really gonna do this ad blocker activate? Oh, you stupid son of a I gotta find a different article because this one doesn't like my ad blocker.
Oh my.
So what I'm trying to display right now is that Rage Against the Machine has broken up for the third time, I think.
Third or fourth?
I think the third time. So here, just first and foremost, I'm going to point out, because I'm probably going to say a lot of the same things about when we talk about Green Day, if we make it there and if you guys are still around. Get out of here. I find it funny that bands like this, like Rage Against the Machine, like Green Day, we're going to get there, that write politically fueled, politically driven songs, they'll go dormant for a little while when their people are in power, when their people are in office, and they're still locking everybody down and they're still telling everybody what to do and how to live their lives and everything, but their people are in power. So these bands kind of go away, and then all of a sudden, when there's maybe just quite possibly the threat of a Republican or a conservative getting back into office, I think I remember. So Rage Against the Machine initially broke up, I believe, in 2000 or 2001 was the first time. And they laid dormant for a while, and then they got back together when I guess it had to have been. Was it GW? It had to have been around the time. No, it had to have been around the time that Trump got back into office, because they broke up when Bush was in office. Yeah. Then we had 8 years of Obama, and then whatever. Neither here nor there. It's semantics. But as soon as things are not going their way, they say stupid shit like, well, at this point in time, we think it's really important that the band gets back together and continues our mission and continues our whatever stuff. And it's like, okay, so your band is called Rage Against the Machine. I take that to mean that you are against all government, like old school punk rock, anarchy, no government, no leader, no president. But it's like, you're just a rage against half of the machine. You just don't like the one side, Yeah. So that's funny. I'm gonna grab another beer really quick.
They're are just whiny fucking bitches. I fucking hate them. As angsty as their music is, they are exactly what they pretend not to be, and it makes you look back at the old punk rock bands. A lot of they suffer from a lot of the same problems. A lot of the people who are in those bands, it's just like the hippies were anti-establishment. Now they are the establishment. Everything, those who are in power, that's what they do. It's
they get together and get paid, when they come back. And it's also funny, these guys are getting old. I mean, they're about our age. They're starting to get hurt on stage and shit, So at a certain point, it's like, how ragey can you be when you're like fucking old and, it's like a rage against everything,
So that was actually kind of one of the funny things is like they had tour dates planned for 2020. Yes, I will get to that. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. There's a funny Oliver Anthony post I gotta pull back up on Instagram, but we're already here for now. So they had tour dates planned for 2020. Obviously, we know what happened the majority of 2020. Then shows started opening back up. They started doing some festivals in 2021. And I also like to point out that Rage Against the Machine is playing certain festivals that requiring you to show papers to get into said concert. So the band that said "F you, I won't do what you tell me to" were saying, well, I'll do what you tell me to if I can go to a concert. And now that I'm seeing another comment in here, I need to go back in the chat here and apologize. At Beard of Liberty, I did not say hello to you a few minutes ago when you joined in. Good to see you, sir. Thank you so much for joining in. I saw you commented again, and I was like, oh shit, I never pulled this comment up because I was distracted and raging against the kids on your lawn.
Pretty much.
So they had some tour dates planned. Everything got postponed, canceled, rescheduled, whatever, and they came back, and then they played like 2 shows, and then Zach De La Rocha like just broke his ankle or like ruptured his Achilles on stage, and then tried to play a couple more gigs where he's like sitting down, but then again while the rest of the band's like rocking out on stage and he's just like sitting down. It's like, really, how much can you rage while you're like sitting raging? Canceling.
Yeah.
It's about right.
So they broke up initially in the early 2000s when is it the bassist name? No, the drummer's name is Brad Wilk. So the other guy, the bassist, he was like during an MTV awards thing where the bassist from Rage Against the Machine like ran up on stage and like climbed up onto a set piece and was like trying to knock it down.
Really bizarre.
And Zach just like went on this whole tirade about, oh, like people aren't going to take us seriously and I'm done with this band and whatever. Whereas his thing was like, oh, like that's what I was doing. I was raging against the machine. I was going to just like tear down that set piece. The whole thing was stupid no matter what. Like, whatever. But then like a time will go by where nothing really happens. Then all of a sudden, like conservatives start rising to power again. And they'll come back and be like, well, we think it's really important that this band comes back now. Even so much so that they were just recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The rest of the band refused to show up, and Tom Morello alone went and accepted the award because he said, we disagree on a great many things, including the induction to the hall. And he's like, oh, but, to our fans and everybody, continue the mission and continue the whatever. And I'm just like, all right, okay. That's great.
Yeah.
But now, according to drummer Brad Wilk, he said, I want you to know that Rage Against the Machine will not be playing live again. So there it is. You see, Zach is having to sit down during the show because he broke his ankle.
Good God. Dude.
And the thing that I kind of hate about them is like their music is really good. Like if you put the music on, like you listen and you start, it's got a good like solid 4 on the floor beat and they're rocking. And oh no, fucking Rolling Stone not gonna let me read this article either, man. I'm not winning today.
Rolling Stone, dude. They're the enemy.
Damn it. The other one didn't like my ad blocker. This one's being a bitch. And I think we've more or less said what we need to say about this one, though.
Hey, before you move on, there's a couple birthdays we should talk about for today.
Birthdays.
It is Elvis Presley's birthday and David Bowie's birthday.
Wow.
Both of them were born on January 8th. Yeah.
That's a
pretty heavy thing. That's like, wow, the Giants.
It is always interesting when stuff like that links up. Like one of the more strange ones I thought was, they were 7 years apart. Kurt Cobain and Lane Staley died on the same day in April.
Oh yeah,
1994 and 2001, but same date in April. That's just freaking weird.
It is creepy.
Let's see. Maybe people will be friendly. Or we could just move on. I think we've said what we need to say about this one, but I'll let you guys chime in here because I'm just kind of blabbering on.
Yeah, I'm not sad. I don't really give a fuck.
They haven't released any new music
that's what I mean.
in over 20 years. So it's like they just tour and play the same songs over and over.
Exactly.
Like the Who, and bands like that. It's like,
yeah,
really?
Thank you.
Okay,
Melvin.
whatever.
Yes, Melvin. Yes. You're freaking God, UK people, man. I love Melvin. Melvin's great.
Rage for the Machine. And this was even the same case that I made when I did my video about Dropkick Murphys lecturing people about wearing their like MAGA shirts and stuff. Is it's like, you know what? Like, okay, I get it. I get it. If you don't like Trump, you don't like Trump, fine. But if we really want to talk true punk rock is anti-establishment. Punk rock is not saying my establishment is better than your establishment, which is essentially what these guys do, which is essentially get out of here advertisements.
Look at Ryan Reynolds. He looked lovely in that photo.
Yeah, but who
was he with? Was that Taylor Swift?
No, that's his wife Blake Lively. But they
I don't know. All famous women look exactly the same to me.
They got married at a location that was once a plantation, so they got called out for it and publicly apologized. So
did Leonardo DiCaprio show up with wearing his costume from Django? That would be fucking funny.
I used to really like Ryan Reynolds. I love the Deadpool movies, but I heard that like they apologized that their wedding was held on a former plantation, and I'm just like, oh, you did it. You bent the knee.
Yes, John. We are kicking Rage Against the Machine in their where their testicles should be, but they had them removed after they became corporate shills or
the pharma companies,
political shills.
But I think that is probably the perfect segue. We pull up this next
into these. Oh my God, I have always hated these guys. I like Rage Against the Machine's music. I did. I know their politics were always garbage. Fucking.
So let's just take a minute. Let's just take a minute to recall that. Yes, Green Day achieved success before a band like Blink-182. Green Day was not much unlike Blink-182 in their earlier days. If you'll take note, their song "Longview" is pretty much about being bored and jerking off. But now all of a sudden they want to lecture people about politics. I take a little bit of issue with that.
Yes, they've become great statesmen as they've gotten older. Billy Joe Armstrong, despite the fact that he looks like he has Downs, has really progressed. He's become a giant of fucking hate.
Was it No Doubt? So much. Didn't they come out around the same time as No Doubt? There's that kind of
not a dissimilar time period. I don't have anything bad to say about No Doubt. They were fine. They were poppy. They were fun. These fucking talentless pieces of shit climbed over the back. Oh, later, my friend. Of far better bands that never made it. Fuck Green Day. Fuck this fucking asshole. God, I fucking hate him so much.
So before we even get into this article, one of the funnier things was if you'll hearken back. I believe this was sometime last year when I feel like I probably need to tiptoe around some of these words so I don't upset the YouTube gods and get shadow banned again, because I'm pretty sure that's happened to me recently. But when the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade and left it up to the states to make the individual decisions, Billy Joe Armstrong came out and went on this big tirade about how he was going to renounce his U.S. citizenship and he was going to move to the UK. Can I just tell you that now, as of January of 2024, I look this up every once in a while. Every once in a while, I Google, did Billy Joe Armstrong move to the UK? And there is no information about it one way or the other. All it says is it harkens back to when he initially made the statement. So I'm going to be like,
none of these people ever follow through.
Did you put your money where your mouth is? Oh yeah, and all these people that are always like, if Trump wins in 2024, I'm leaving America. Two things: one, none of them ever actually do it. Two, you don't care. You really think that's going to affect anyone?
No, right?
No, exactly.
Fuck off. Of your presence. No. Let me help you pack.
Farrah Fawcett. Yes. No, not Farrah. Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda. Fucking Jane Fonda said that shit recently, and it's like, go. You haven't been relevant in like 50 years. Like,
you're 80. Good luck.
Yeah, like I will lovingly wrap all of your knickknacks in bubble wrap and send you off on a plane. Like, get out of here. Nobody cares. No, it will literally affect nobody but you.
No, right? These people are idiots.
So Elon Musk knocked Green Day after it trashed Trump's "Make America Great Again" movement. So, Roman, you already hate their music, so you may or may not know this, whatever. But in the mid 2000s, they put out their album called American Idiot, and in the lead single, in the big lead song off of the album American Idiot, there's a line in the song where he says, "I'm not a part of the redneck agenda." Obviously, back then it was, I think the album came out in 2005, so it was like a shot at the George W. Bush administration, and again, conservatives in the White House and whatever stuff. So now they just performed the song recently, and he changed the line "redneck agenda" to "MAGA agenda," to which Elon Musk is like knocking them and saying that they're just milk toastedly raging, quote, "for the machine."
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's again, it's like I get it. The phrase MAGA, the phrase "Make America Great Again" is tied to Trump. People hate Trump. They hate his character. That's understandable. That's fine. I get it. But it's like just the words "Make America Great Again." Like, why would you not want to make your country great again? Because it's better, also, but it's not great right now.
that again, they did this during the New Year's performance. Is when this fucking chimp did this shit.
Dick Clark.
It's like nice job, guys. Way to bring everybody together on fucking New Year's Eve. Get back to your fucking special ed class, you piece of shit.
They're trying to remain relevant because they haven't been relevant in over 20 years.
They're not. Though. No one gives a fuck. Why are they even fucking on anything? Why are they on? You know why they're on? Because no one is playing Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Dick's been dead for a long time.
They support the right side of the machine. They support the right side of the establishment.
Right. I'm sorry.
The left side of the machine, but yes.
Right. The correct side according to Hollywood. They support the side that gets you on TV.
And this is another group of geezers. These guys are in their 50s or more. It's like, you know.
I love that they want to blame everybody else. It's like, oh, the conservatives are the party of the rich old white people. I'm like, look at all the Democrats in office.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting it right. I mean, the working class people now. That's who you're alienating with your bullshit fucking music. Maybe if he wasn't fucking, missing a chromosome, then he might actually realize this shit.
Do you remember when the Doors were on the I can't remember what big show that was, the Sullivan Show, Ed Sullivan Show, and they're playing "Light My Fire." They couldn't say the lyric because it was a drug reference, and he did it. He totally just did it, and they got banned from that show for life.
Well, because it's like it's live TV. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that didn't alienate half their audience. That catered to all of their audience.
No, exactly. And
these morons
know your audience.
Thing. Yeah, this is saying fuck you to half the populace. Okay, that's fine. I mean, depending on what your political affiliation is, it has no place in Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve one. And if you want to do this at your concert, wherever your concert is, that's not on national television, that's fine.
Your show,
that's your show. This isn't your show. This is you performing for someone else. So just from that standpoint,
again, they're just trying to be relevant.
Who's another band that period? The Skater Punks Noodles is in the band. They fired the drummer or something, right?
Oh, the Offspring.
They fired him because he didn't get the freaking
all these fucking bands are like that now. They're all a bunch of just geezery elitists,
Keep them separated, guys. Keep them separated.
But through that, so through Pete Parada getting fired from the Offspring, through the Mighty Mighty Bosstones breaking up and all this other stuff, gave us the band The Defiant, which I've done videos about. Roman bought their record. I have the record. Any of you guys watching this, if you haven't checked them out, look up the band The Defiant. They are actually, in this day and age, the album came out in 2023, now we're in 2024, they are legitimate true punk rock because they are speaking out against the lockdowns and mandates that have happened over the last 3-4 years. They are speaking out against government overreach. They're not picking a side of, oh, well, we're left, we're right, we're this, we're that. We're like, whoever was in power, whoever was in the White House, these things are happening and we don't like them. And we're against all of this, no matter who made the decision. And the music's also really awesome. Besides that, like that is a really good record. Unlike Green Day, punk rock band Green Day switched up the lyrics to its hit song American Idiot in a Sunday performance New Year's Eve to trash former President Donald Trump. How original. You hate Donald Trump. Oh my goodness, I'm so surprised. It didn't take long for Elon Musk to voice his displeasure that the band, by his estimation, had changed for the worse as the band performed a set at Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Green Day's lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong altered the line, "I'm not a part of the redneck agenda," instead singing, "I'm not a part of the MAGA agenda." The lyric, part of a song written about the Iraq War, was originally a direct criticism of former President George Bush. While Green Day now using the song to hit out at Trump, Musk took the tweaked lyric as a sign that the band had become pro-establishment. Say it ain't so. It's a different band, sorry. Green Day goes from raging against the machine to milquetoastedly raging for it, Musk wrote Sunday evening. His jab at the band came as conservative pundits blasted Green Day for the lyric swap and mocked the ages of its members. The band's 3 members are all 51 years old. Green Day has long made overt political statements, such as the 2016 when the band coined the "No Trump, no." I'm not going to say that out loud because I will get shadow banned, but you can read it on the screen. Slogan to the American Music Awards. Here's the funny thing.
Fuck off.
Here's the funny thing to me that they want to say no this, no that. Okay, the one in the middle, the 3 Ks, those were Democrats.
Yeah, exactly.
But I digress on that one. And they want to throw down the big F word and all the this and that, and they want to control you, whatever. It's like both political parties want to control you to some level or another. It's just different parts of your life that they want to control. So I am not. I mean, obviously, yes, I vote. I vote in the closest way that I possibly can to what I think is right or wrong. But I'm not so blind to think that any politician actually gives 2 flying shits about me or you or anyone else. Like they want fame, money, power. You just have to align the closest you can with someone, and that's it. But this thing of like, oh, well, my guy really cares about me and my guy's really out for the average working people. And we're like, no, they're not. No politician is. None of them are. Like, oh, it bugs me so much. Like, it just, what we got here? Trump. I know you already pulled it up, but I didn't read. Trump derangement syndrome is always an all-time high here. Like, you know, people get crazy.
His next one.
And
his next one is hilarious.
I've been this mad since we took away. So it's exactly that. That's exactly that. They said that they have not tried to remove a candidate from the ballot since Abraham Lincoln.
Old Abe, old honest Abe. They haven't changed. It's funny and sad.
Even sold merchandise celebrating Trump's mugshot, though the former president has done the same by marketing the photo as a symbol of defiance. Musk does not have a consistent history of supporting either Republican or Democrat party, but he has been critical of Trump's policies before. And that's about it for that one.
Elon
yeah, I just love just like Dropkick Murphys, just like Rage Against the Machine, just like Green Day, all of them. They're like, they want to come out and they want to make this big political statement, but it's like, well, you're not saying anything when your guy is doing dumb shit. We're sending all our money to different countries when we're opening up our borders and we got all these, you know, young military fighting age men streaming across the borders. No women, no children, no families, no nothing. And they're just like, let them all in. It's great. Now we're going to give them all free healthcare. Now we're all going to let them chop their ding dongs off on our tax dollars. Like,
they're not interested in that. I think they're probably interested in chopping yours off. And that's as they are raping and taking over the lands. But, you know, whatever. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's only tripled since the former president left office. Tripled. 4 million versus 12 million. I'm just throwing around numbers that for actual encounters. It was only 5 million when Obama was in office. Not that, then it dropped to 4 during Trump, and then it's jumped to 12 million under current. So, whatever. It's fine. No big deal. It'll all work out.
That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's like the dog in the burning house. Like, this is fine.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
It's like news headline: old punk band sells out. Big shot. They were never fucking punk to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got so much shit for that Dropkick video when I put that out there when Ken Casey was like lecturing the crowd and everything. Like, apparently you don't know what real punk rock is, and I'm like, my understanding of punk rock is like anarchy, no government, no leadership. Like, these guys are just for one half of the machine. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's selective punk.
Rock and roll was all rock and roll and punk and everything's all supposed to just be like sex, drugs, rock and roll, no accountability, no nothing. Just go out and live your life and just party and just damn the man and everything. It's like
now they are
not where we're at anymore.
Yeah, now they are. Yeah, the man or for the man.
Oh man. And another quick one without too much to say on it, but to maybe kind of end on a high note, at least as long as I know, like, if you guys got to go or whatever. Chris Stapleton is dropping his own whiskey. And I already know what you're thinking. A lot of you are probably sitting there going, oh, another celebrity attaching his name to a whiskey. And I get it. Like, he probably, pretty sure he wasn't out there in the distillery, like,
making it,
filling the barrels with the whiskey and checking on them and aging them and everything. But it is still kind of a cool idea that Chris Stapleton has partnered with Buffalo Trace Distillery, which I guess he grew up just like not too far from where the distillery is. So it's also from his hometown, which is cool, in Kentucky. But the other thing, and I texted this to Roman over the weekend, that I especially appreciated was the price point. It's going to go for an average of $39 a bottle. It's not.
That's great.
It's not too bad.
It's not the cheapest thing you can buy, but it's also not like they're trying to sell some sort of like 12-year something for like $500, $1,000, whatever. It's like
they've made it. Anybody can buy this bottle of whiskey, and that's
putting something out that the average person
make it
can
for
buy.
the people, all the people, not just half the people.
Or 1% of the people.
Or 1% of the people. So yeah, as a man who enjoys a good whiskey, I really appreciate this. And what I like is that these artists who are doing this stuff, Metallica did the same thing with Blackened.
Yes,
they don't want their name associated with a shitty product. So you are
like, people are going to try the whiskey and be like, oh, like don't go buy that because it's a bunch of crap.
Exactly. So I'm pretty excited about this personally. So
I've looked it up so far. It literally just dropped, like when I read the article the other day. So it hasn't made its way to San Diego yet. But I'm pretty sure when it does, you'll be able to find it at your local Bevmo and other local places. But when it does, I would definitely, because I do enjoy Buffalo Trace. Lady Marine agrees. Buffalo Trace is a solid. It's a solid choice. Like, it's not Jack Daniels, but it's not some sort of like 20-year whatever. Like, it's just a good, like, everyday, every man's whiskey. It is going to be called Traveler, which is the name of one of his albums. And it's going to be an American blended whiskey coming in at 45%, average price $39. And then it talks all about like the nose and the palate. And I'm like, I don't know, just give me the whiskey.
You getting into the fancy terms.
For free content.
Do you taste a bit of leather with this? I don't fucking know, man. Why asking me these questions?
Just give me a bottle of whiskey. Yeah,
the notes are like isopropic alcohol for the first 2 seconds for everything. Then maybe you know, if you've trained yourself, you can. But other people, it's just like a fucking alcohol blast.
Yeah. And yes, Jacob, I agree that it is hilarious that they want to throw all of these mean terms out at Trump. But and again, like I always say, it's like I'm not the guy's biggest fan either. I get that a lot of people don't like Trump based on his character, and I don't disagree with that. I don't think you're wrong. But when it comes down to it, because yay, 2024, we're in an election year. Everything's gonna go to hell before November rolls around. Everybody brace yourselves.
It's gonna get weird.
Throw all these mean terms around that also I could say could describe the other side too. So talk about that, like brace yourselves, election year, whatever. Remember, you're all familiar, of course, with comedian Ron White, I believe.
Oh yeah.
He put a special out some time ago. I want to say this was maybe like right after 9/11 or something, where he was like talking about when there were different color codes of alert systems of like, well, today we're at a level orange, tomorrow we're at a level red. And I mean, like he made this whole joke about nobody knows what the color codes are. Like, well, today we're blue, and tomorrow we're yellow, the next day we're orange. But it's like, what does each one mean? So he had this whole bit about like his mother calling him and his mom being like, it's like, oh, Ron, today they changed the emergency color code from orange to red. What should I do? And he's like, well, I don't know. But then he's like, here's what I think we need to do. We need to just have a 2-tiered system, and the system needs to be go buy a helmet and put on the damn helmet. Then it's like if my mom calls me and goes, ooh, Ron, they changed the state of emergency from buy a helmet to put on a damn helmet. What should I do? Well, mother, put on the damn helmet.
I know this color codes and all that crap is the average human being doesn't care. Okay, what am I doing today? Same shit as yesterday, whatever.
Yeah. I go to work. I get up, I go to work, I come home. It's like nobody don't drink whiskey. I've heard good starter whiskeys, Angels. I have not heard of that one. Angel's Envy. Have you heard of that one, Blair?
No.
Angel's Envy. No, I am not familiar with that one. Interesting. Haven't lived until you have down a gallon of Southern. Ooh, no.
God, no.
I'm good on that. When I was 19 and 20, I drank my fair share of Jägermeister, so I'm good on the nasty cheap liquor.
Yeah. Southern Comfort always sounded like cherry something, wasn't it? It was like a nasty.
I honestly don't know if I've ever had Southern Comfort because it's always been such an ongoing joke of being terrible.
It is bad.
I don't know. No. Tater salad, yep. But yeah, I look back to when like me and my friends and my like earliest roommates would just like we'd each get our own bottle of Jägermeister and just like unscrew the cap and just drink. And I'm looking back on like, how did I never get sick off of that? Like, how did I never just have nights where I was like puking my brains out drinking straight Jägermeister? And pretty much once I turned 21, I lost a taste for it. Cause I'm like, well, I can buy my own beer and stuff now. I don't need to ask my roommate to buy it for me anymore. I don't even want to smell Southern Comfort ever again. Yeah, that's one that I think I avoided. I missed that one. I do remember though, at a very young age. Let's see, my sister is 3 years older than me. She was driving in high school, so I had to have been at least maybe 13, 14 years old. Hanging out with my sister and some friends of hers when she was in high school, and they went to like the local grocery store and like stole whatever booze they could get, because back then they kept the alcohol right by the door of the grocery store. Not smart. They went in and swiped a bottle of plain unflavored Smirnoff vodka, and then before I know it, we're back at somebody's house in their garage just like taking straight shots of it with nothing to chase it with, not even so much as a soda. And they're like, here, have some sour Skittles. I can't eat sour Skittles to this day. The sour Skittles were the chasers for straight shots of Smirnoff vodka as a 13, 14-year-old that had never really drank before. They go back to the same store again for another round. And my sister comes out and hands me a bottle of Boone's Farm and goes, here, this is for you.
Boone's Farm.
And then with the bottle of Boone's Farm open, sipping on it in between my legs in the passenger seat of her car, we go through the drive-through of Jack in the Box, and that was fun.
Boone's Farm.
Hey, guys, I'm going to need to roll out of here in a sec, guys.
Okay.
Sorry, I've reached my expiration limit.
So, but real quick though, Roman, since you're back, Jacob is asking what a good starter whiskey is. First, he asked about something called Angel's Envy, with I've never heard of. Blair's never heard of.
I actually have. I'm sure. So my guitarist Adrian is a bit of a whiskey snob, and he brings over. Yeah, I no, I don't remember. I know it's certainly not
neither
bad,
one of us had heard of that, but otherwise he's saying like, what's
I've
like a good like starter whiskey? Obviously not Jack Daniels.
Jameson's is a great
Jack
starter
Daniels.
whiskey.
Okay.
Jameson is a very good. I mean, that's just a really nice GP whiskey. But then you start getting into like your bourbons and your scotches, and it's all, they're all members of the same family. Like if I'm drinking, one of my preferred is Johnny Walker Double Black. That's probably one of my favorite things to drink. It's a scotch. And Johnny Walker has all kinds of different levels to it. You got the red, the black, the blue, the green, the gold. But pound for pound, the Double Black, it doesn't cost a ton of money, but it's a very distinct, palatable difference from your lower level Johnny Walker. Like you go up to the blue. The blue is fine. It's a delight, but it's also $150 a bottle. So you can get the Double Black.
I don't think Jacob wants to start with that.
No, like the Double Black, you can get that between it's like $35 to $40 a bottle. But it's so good. Matt, the drummer, has been finishing off my bottle since I'm dry right now, and he's an asshole. So
quitter.
Anyway, but but if you just want to dip your toe into the whiskey pool for the first time, go with Jameson. You're not spending a ton of money, but it's not a disappointment. Like Jack Daniels, like Lady Marine said, it is tasteless. It is brown. That is Jack
Daniels is the Bud Light of the whiskey world.
That's only their lower tier. As soon as you start bumping up in the Jack Daniels family, you start getting some very good whiskeys. There's single barrel, the triple mash, and their bond.
This is my really birthday gift from Bizarro Dad.
So those are, like I said, so as soon as you level up, but in almost any of your whiskey family, as soon as you level up, you're going to notice a big difference between your $20 bottle and your $40 or $50 bottle. So I'm just, saying. Anyway, that's Roman on whiskey.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I get teary-eyed too.
Honestly, I think I'm about ready to wrap it up. So if we want to just kind of do all outro, we can close it up before you got it. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but we can at least like wrap it up all together instead of yes, first Mixtape Mondays of 2024. Always good to have both of you gentlemen on. And again, thank you to everyone who's been in the chat. We had Jacob, Lady Marine, Cajun, Beard of Liberty dipped in for a minute, Salmon Outdoors, who I believe also left, Matt as well, and very briefly, who is it? Dankest von Meeman. Anyone else familiar with him? I think it was
that's individual. That's exciting.
New person. So thank you guys all for joining in the chat. Thank you too also for being here and putting up with my ramblings. Roman, what do you have going on this week?
So this week, I don't think I was supposed to be on Father Miller show today, but then I was watching my godchildren, so I was kind of tied up.
And then you were at lunch.
On Thursday, we are doing our normal Thursday, 5 Pacific Standard Time. This week we got a really fun show. We're going to be looking at 1979's The Black Hole, which is it's a movie that not a lot of people have seen. It kind of fell off the map, I think. Came out after Star Wars, after Alien, so it was just in that time spot, and it was a Disney movie. It's dark, it's weird. I'm a big fan of it. It's an awesome movie. So we got that coming up this Thursday. That's our we got some Vex is going to be on with us, Pops is going to be on with us. So it's going to be a fun one.
Awesome. All right. And Blair, you got anything going on this week?
Not this week. Toward the end of the month, I'm on Jacob Ironside show.
Oh, nice.
We're going to be talking about the Ronin, the Tom Cruise samurai movie.
With, okay.
Uninspired reviewer.
So nice.
Yeah, I was going to be on a stream with him before, and I had to cancel, so I wanted to get back with him.
For sure, definitely. Right on. Very cool. So yeah, I guess that will do it for the first Mixtape Mondays of the year. And again, like I always say, always good to have you guys on. You are welcome anytime. I have no idea what I'm doing the rest of the week or what we're talking about next week, but whatever comes up, I will definitely let you know, and I will let everybody else know. Again, thank you everyone in the chat for joining in. I'm John, the Creative Blue Collar Guy, joined by Roman of the Empire and Blair to Blair. We will see you guys next time.
Be excellent to each other.